Now let's go back to the campaign management page again. Let's look at our first advertising campaign. If you click here, you'll note that you can pause, resume, delete, and edit your campaign settings if you wish. I'll cover that later. You can also customize the view as well. For now, let's resume. And we see campaign successfully resumed. But since the details aren't correct for an active campaign, let's go in and change those now, and let me talk you through the process. Remember, you can create as many advertising campaigns as you wish. To use our previous example, you could create and structure an advertising campaign to sell roofing tiles if you wish, or another campaign just selling bricks. It's completely up to you how you structure your advertising campaigns. Before we go on, let's click on Selecting the Campaign, then Edit Settings. I won't go into all the details on this screen, which can get a little involved, including giving you the ability to pick exactly where your ad will appear, for example. But for now, I want to customize the campaign name. Let's say we want to call the campaign Antique Tables instead of the generic campaign number 1. And scroll down and save the changes. You see that the change has been made, and if I click on the campaign name, I'm taken to my ad group. Each advertising campaign you'll do has ad groups. You can add as many as you wish and structure them in any way you want. It's suggested that each ad group should be very tightly focused. I'll go into detail later, but for now, let's just walk through a quick example. First, let's check it and rename it. You can give it any name you choose, of course. In this case, let's call it Antique Tables Ad Group. That's fairly broad, but we'll leave it at that for now. Again, save those changes. Now let's click into this ad group. Remember, this example is a keyword-targeted campaign, so each ad group will have keywords associated with it. So if we click on keywords, you'll see our pretty obscure keyword phrase, three-legged tables. And it also has an ad associated with it. You can have multiple ads associated with an ad group, but in this case we only did one sample ad. So here are the basics. First, let's delete this irrelevant or obscure keyword phrase. Tell the system, yes, we're sure we want to do that. And add a more relevant keyword. So click on Edit Keywords. Notice our default bid is still 5 cents for this example. And now let's type in Antique Table. If you wish, you can estimate the search traffic at this point. It's a pretty rough estimate, so I wouldn't take it too seriously, but you may find it somewhat interesting. Note that it gives you broad overview of search volume. The green on this bar represents that volume, and the more a term is searched for, that is, the more popular it is, the more green you'll see. So here the estimated ad position at your 5 cents per click is between 16 and 20 in the results. Let's save the changes. And that's how you set your keywords. Now let's make the ad at least vaguely relevant. First we'll go to Add Variations and click on it. Okay, let's edit this. Actions, Edit. Okay, let's make this positive. Since we're assuming that people are searching for antique tables, let's just make the headline Antique Table. To keep it fairly simple for now, Let's make the description line 1. If you're looking for antique tables, is that going to fit? No. Let's make it, if you're looking for an antique, then continue line 2, table, this site may help. Okay, that works. Now for the display URL. Now for this sample advertisement, I don't have a site about antique tables, but I can use an existing one. There's nothing wrong with that, and the site owner will just be getting some free advertising. So let me paste in a URL I copied onto the clipboard earlier, the #1 Google result. So they'll get a bit more traffic. Then I'll copy that and paste it into the destination URL block. Now let's save as. So now the ad is up and running, and it's relevant to the keywords we picked. There's the ad, as you can see, in the Antique Tables ad group, part of the advertising campaign, Antique Tables. Remember, you can do multiple ad groups in one advertising campaign, and you can certainly have as many advertising campaigns as you want, but just keep in mind that it's better to structure things logically and add groups and keywords together that are related to one another. That makes navigation easier, and the whole process works better. Setting up your campaign, running your campaign, getting reports, and so forth. It's really all about optimizing results and making it as easy as possible. That's a quick demonstration of the heart of the Google AdWords system. Now in campaign management, there is also a tools area with quite a few tools, as you can see, including a tool for giving you keyword suggestions and managing negative keywords. Negative keywords are words you don't want to be associated with. For example, let's say you were advertising iPods and you had free as a negative keyword. If someone is searching for free iPods, your ad would not appear, even though this assumes you do have iPod for a keyword. It's a way to make sure that your ad only appears in a context that you want. We'll cover this more in depth later on. Another tool is site exclusion. This allows you to select the sites you don't want to appear on. Then there's Traffic Estimator, which we looked at briefly earlier on in this tutorial, and several other tools, as you can see. There's also a tab for conversion tracking. This is really a light version of analytics. It's very easy to get up and running with your account, and it gives you useful statistics and details on how profitable your campaign is. But when you really want to go into detail on the statistics, analytics is much more involved. Looking briefly at the main tabs again, we've already had a brief look at reports and the different areas of Report Center and Create Reports. Analytics needs to be set up on your website for that to be live. And My Account is really just for housekeeping, but here's a quick look through that. So that's a walkthrough of the Google AdWords account system, and as you can see, there's really a huge amount of information and detail there. It can get very involved and very advanced. It's important when you begin to advertise that you really understand the basic overview concepts. Most importantly, know the difference between the different campaign types, keyword-targeted and site-targeted campaigns, what exactly a campaign is, and what an ad group is. An advertising campaign is the overarching concept, but understand that ad campaigns can have multiple ad groups, and individual ad groups have multiple ads related either to specific sites or specific keywords. We'll go through this again in subsequent videos, and as you use your account regularly and watch the videos, you'll become much more familiar and comfortable with this process until it becomes second nature. But in the beginning, it can be a bit overwhelming. And that's our detailed walkthrough of the Google AdWords service.